Welcome everybody here to your broadcast, the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host as always for the English live stream, TobiWan, coming to you from our wonderful studio here in Berlin, bringing you your one and only game tonight. That's right, we have two teams facing up against each other. One team actually playing their last match here in the group stage, and that is Speed Gaming. They've already gone 3 victories with not a single loss so far in what could be classed as possibly the hardest group of them all. Let's jump ourselves over. Actually, let's have a look at the teams first, because Speed Gaming are a team. You know what, guys? I did it again. There we go. Removed. Not going to happen again. Speed Gaming, they will be led by their captain Eternal Envy, and so far undefeated. Sing Sing's been superb on the middle lane. We've had Bone7 and Aoi, Pylai, Dai. These 3 guys together, I don't even want to say, well, Bone7's offlane, he's amazing and stuff like that. Because Aoi and Pylai, Dai, all these 3 guys work so well together to make sure their number 2s and number 1 positions really just destroy. And the team they're going up against, well, that's Mousesports. So the full Danish lineup. Link Man who's doing the draft for, allowing Synderen to focus on his number 2 position. Rise, always been a massive fan of this guy, and Crit and Ace have just been playing superb Dota as well. So should be a good matchup tonight. So let's get ourselves over into our draft time, because that is what has already begun. So we'll have our first 2 bands coming out from Speed Gaming, Lich as well as Doombringer. And in return, the Facade as well as the Lifestealer. And with no surprise, Clockwork is one of the highest priority heroes for both these teams. Both these teams play a hell of a lot of Clockwork. I'd actually, I'll be interested to see how many games they play between the 2 of them, as far as percentage-wise. But this is a straight-up first pickup. They realize how much of priority this hero is. Even if you don't play him as... No, you're going to play him as an offlaner. Both these teams do, and both these teams will probably never change that around. Unless, really, they get forced to in the progression of the draft. But Pylai Dai, he's sitting in the number 1 slot here for SPG. But as we know, Speed Gaming, anybody who's in any slot can be doing the draft for him. So... Actually, it's him doing it, because Eternal Envy's not doing the draft anymore, so he can focus on his number 1 role. It's amazing how both these teams, Synderen not doing drafts, they can focus on number 2, and Pylai Dai, same kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it kind of is a whole, it's a team game. It's a team game. Everyone knows it's a team game. Yeah. Game time anyway. So Elder Titan and Crystal Maiden will come up here by Pylai Dai. So ET, he fits into any lane. Crystal Maiden, our most popular early game aggressive hero. Can bite you in the ass, of course, but as we've seen already today, through the Nexon Sponsorship League, when we did the semifinals for that, really, the Crystal Maiden in the hands of anyone who has a slight idea of how to use her can be absolutely brutal. And in the hands of an expert is lethal. So, always happy to see a Crystal Maiden come in, and we get a Kunkka. Now, Speed Gaming is very familiar with this hero. Very, very familiar with this hero. We had Sing Sing play Kunkka almost non-stop in the middle lane. So, maybe Mousesports going to try and do the same thing here with Synderen in the middle lane. Don't know who you're up against still, but you ban out the Juggernaut, so you're feeling an element of push and elements of Magic Immunity, which they just don't want to deal with. They've already taken out the Lifestealer as well, so they're basically the 2 guys that... I remember we had our lane up last night, where we had Lifestealer going up against a Juggernaut, and that was in the Na'Vi game, and you're watching that going, yeah, immunity versus immunity. Good luck to the supports, because they will be the primary targets at all times. But we've got Kunkka now in for the Mousesports line, with the Clockwork as well. So you could be looking at the Cogs, the Battery Assault, the follow-up Torrent after the initiating hook shot. You got some options in that one. But you want to find a different lane that works with the Kunkka. The old combination is actually what Pylai Dai banned out, which is the SD. So you went SD, Disruption, Catcher, Torrent. The timing of it's quite simple to work out if you've got communication with your support, which is normally the phrase you can do for anything, which is you're looking to communicate and execute. Yeah. But the SD being one of the first ones. The other one's the Rubik. Rubik will be the secondary setup. So it's just telekinesis in the 1 spot. A little bit easier to actually get the Rubik one as opposed to the SD, because if you screw up your timing for your Torrent, then sometimes you can have it where, yeah, it comes out of Disruption, you can walk away, and then your Torrent does absolutely nothing. Same kind of thing can happen with the telekinesis, but you're not really concerned about it doing it too late, because you're still going to get the bump up It just means you won't get the perfect and maximum stun time with the telekinesis as well as the chain off into the torrent. But, well, Batrider, a man who's been completely ignored to this point, is now going to be banned out. There's so many heroes that have been completely ignored as well. It's almost useless and pointless to, in fact, talk about them. And unless you get to this point, when you see the Juggernaut, you see the Lysel, you see the Visage. Now these are obviously very specific bans. Some directed at the Speed Gaming lineup themselves, and some directed at what's going to screw around with their lineup. So Batrider is this fourth one that gets thrown in. It will screw around with everything because it's Batrider, but it's one of those things where I think Mousesports are at the point where they don't really consider about anything else apart from these magic immune carry style heroes. So they take out the Batrider just because he's there and they don't want to play up against him. OD will be the fourth ban down here by Speed Gaming. That's a little bit more directed to allow the Miranda to go solo mid. Time and time again it's been happening, but it is possible that both Bone 7 as well as Sing Sing could take up that Miranda role. I think Sing Sing's record on Miranda is actually quite stupendous. Bone 7 is also a very adept Miranda player for the offlane. Even back in his day, Aoi, when he played the hard carry role, was a very, very good Miranda himself. We get our Nagasaran, which means we will see ET as a core in this game. Still, the question of what lane can be open. Because you have a Naga and a Crystal Maiden, this could be very much a full-on aggressive tri-lane coming out here from Speed. So the Naga, the ET, and the Crystal Maiden all together, or the Naga, the Miranda, the CM together. This is what I'm talking about with like the Miranda. It can switch between Bone 7 as well as Sing Sing. You've got your options to jump the hero around. Timbersaw is going to be the pickup here from Mousesports, so more than likely off-laner or top laner for Mousesports. It's an easy lane to run for a Timbersaw. You give him one support hero and he is 100% secure. And at the same time, still missing one of the heroes which I thought was going to be picked up before, and that's NP. That's Nature's Prophet. Hasn't been touched by anybody. It's a big favorite of Link to play it on the offlane. But that would then mean that you're looking at a hard carry Kunkka, and you're looking at a Timbersaw in the middle lane then. Which, yeah. Because you're not going to put Timbersaw in the safe lane. He's a tanky kind of guy that you put in your lanes which go under peril. But then again, if this is an aggressive tri-lane, then maybe putting Timbersaw on the bottom lane isn't a bad option.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And we get Windrunner pickup now too.
Dire team ban.
Are we looking at another support Kunkka? Are we actually looking at another support Kunkka here? We had it yesterday. We actually had a support Kunkka yesterday.
10 seconds remaining.
And I got a feeling that we're looking at it again. It came from the same team, so yeah, I think we are. I think we're looking at a support Kunkka. It could also be, like, if we get one more support hero right now from Mousesports, then our cores are Windrunner, Timbersaw, and Clockwork, which means we do have Timbersaw on the bottom lane, a Kunkka support, and then Windrunner and Clockwork. The way the Kunkka ended up going for a support was, in fact, not going any levels up in Tiebringer until level, I think it was level 9 last night was the first time he got a level up in the Tiebringer. But the ban and picks keep going on. So Pylai Die, one last hero to take out. It's so impossible to ban against this. Because you just don't know what you want to remove. Like, you kind of want to remove... Oh, actually, you kind of want the Rubik yourself, but you can't have it because you've already got 2 supports in this game. It's like, but do you take our support? Windrunner could be a core, or she could be a support. You don't know. It could be Kunkka and Windrunner supports, and he takes out the Venomancer. So, at the end of the day, this kind of feels like another one of those moments we're talking about, which we have with the Batrider, where you're not 100% sure where they're going to go. So you just take out a hero which you know can throw a spanner in your works, or it's just normally an issue. And with the new Venomancer, he is always normally an issue. So he'll be taken out by Pylai Die. And that means our last hero to be banned out by Link. Looks over to Speed Gaming and thinks about, okay, well, they've run Mirana supports. They're going to take out the Clinks. This is now the second time today I've actually seen a Clinks being banned out, and the third time, well, because Clinks was picked up in one of those games. Yeah, for Mousesports, now I'll talk about next on stuff. Yeah, but Clinks finds its way into the ban pool. And Pylai Die now going to be having his 5th pickup with the Clinks removed. That basically means that Mousesports saying they're running an off-laner. Whoever it is, this would be the hero they picked up right now to run top lane too. You're taking a Clinks that's not an aggressive tri-lane Clinks, even though you can just run around the jungle invis and start leeching out a lot of the experiences you pull. SF will be the pickup instead. Now, this mixes things up again. It should be Eternal Envy on the SF. It should be Eternal Envy on the SF. Sing Sing's basically got 3 heroes, which has been playing of recent times. The Elder Titan, the Marana, and the SF. All can go solo mid right now for Speed Gaming. But you're looking at the hardest farmer of them all, and that'll want to be the safe lane SF. The question is, can a safe lane SF actually go there solo or not? Or do we look at like a Marana off lane with a Naga Siren? We get the puck as our last one for Mousesports, so that'll give us our solo mid, which means it is going to be either a support Windrunner or not, actually. It's going to be Link taking up the role as the puck in this. Now, this throws a question mark into the lane, because this could have a puck versus an SF on the long lane. It could then throw us into our middle lane battle, which is Marana versus question mark. I kind of even want to just flash up my thing over on the side here and just double check some of this. By the way, Unicorn's almost a permanent stand-in for this new Mousesports roster. I'm not quite sure if they're going to have their other guys back. Because if you check out your Mousesports roster right now and you bring it down, there's a guy in the middle there which isn't Unicorn. That's Ace, who is in the 3rd slot in the Mousesports roster. That's the official one that we have for this competition. But Ace hasn't played since the start of this competition. Anyway, into the game we go.
Prepare for battle.
And we'll look towards our lanes now. So we'll have Bone 7 as the Elder Titan, heading down towards that bottom lane. It will be Eternal Envy at this point heading in towards the mid. His build does say that he was going to go a solo mid for this. And Sing Sing will take a safe lane Marana here. So players will go on the heroes, which I think is right. The lanes, that changes around a little bit here. So 2-1 advantage. It's funny because both these teams, with their new rosters, they are fairly new. They are fairly new as far as these two teams facing up against each other. And with these rosters, well, you're actually almost 100% right. Like, the brands have gone up against each other 2-1. As far as these exact rosters, it's 1-0. The last time these guys faced up was in Natolic, actually. They first faced up in the Natolic Cup. Alright, so Rise, he'll be the Windrunner up here on the top lane, so we do get a support Windrunner. We'll be running dual lanes up on the top, so we get both Unicorn as well as Windrunner together. It's kind of funny because one shackles the trees and one destroys trees. So it might just be a hovering... Yeah, okay, haste rune stolen. It might just be a hovering Windrunner. She can rotate back down towards the bottom lane, but you've got Crit and Puck down here on the bottom. So with Link on this Puck, there's no setup for the Torrent. It's just having a fish. But at the same time, last time Crit did this, he went 2 points on the X marker spot. So you got a 2-second delay before they get dragged back, and then the Torrent goes. And the delay you have on that is 1.6. So you normally only leave the 2 points up in the X mark spot anyway, and you just X straight into Torrent. And the casting time, it kind of does it all for you. Middle lane, Pylai Die. We'll get ourselves a Riptide. Eternal Envy's only got base damage to throw out towards Cinderin. Right, even just picking up a last hit while he's in the middle of all of that. But Envy not having Shadow Razors up just yet means he cannot do that burst damage to combo with the Naga Siren coming in. But Pylai Die is just meant to try and tip the balance of this middle lane, where Rise is actually sticking around with Cinderin. Trying to make sure that Eternal Envy gets little to no CS. Having to use a raise, in fact, to try and get one of these damn things. While up on the top lane, Unicorn's going to be forced back off the lane a little bit. He's already 3 for 1 on this top lane, but with Pineline Die as well as Sing Sing up here, you got to be careful about that ensnare into an arrow combination. Can mean for very, very long arrows, but at the same time, your timing is going to be absolutely perfect for that because Unicorn has got Timber Chain. He's got Escape Mechanism and he's got Reactive Armor. This is what makes him so great on this off lane. And Ryze has now come to join him again on the top lane too. So he should be okay. While Bone 7 on this off lane, he's out of mana for Spirits now, but at the same time he's about to get a lot of levels. Top lane, they're getting in very, very close. This is kind of where I want to look for the first blood because I kind of know that when, yeah, something like that happened, I was waiting for the Shackle line just to cross this way here. But it didn't end up happening. And then you look towards the middle lane. You got Mr. Burst damage up against Synderen, who, if he cogs incorrectly, can really get caught out. We're going to find Ryze and Pilot Eye saying hello, and then Windrun or Ensnare. The race is on. The cogs as well. Synderen pushes him out, and at the end of the day, Pilot Eye was getting too close, and they had to deny the rune out. A little Logan Beaver brings out the bottle for Synderen. Eternal Envy hasn't afforded his yet. He's only got 7 last hits in comparison to the 9 for 3 on Synderen. Synderen just missing 1, so did Eternal Envy just then as well. Ensnare, we go 1 raise. His range isn't 100% right, and I think Envy kind of also knew that using the mana wasn't really worth it. Because once he popped this one, he had to wait a couple of seconds more before he can get a second raise, so he couldn't do a 2 combo. Which means that Synderen would have just healed it up with the bottle he had anyway. So there was little to no point doing it. Look at Envy. Man. Synderen must be feeling very unlucky. Oh, Unicorn be feeling more unlucky. Didn't need a combination to hit that arrow. Timber chains away, but Sing Sing leaps down. There's your Starfall. Beautiful shackle from Ryze. That attack not enough to kill off Unicorn. And then Ryze with his evasion is able to escape back out too. Speed Gaming should feel pretty well robbed on that top lane of their kills. That was a fantastic shackle from Ryze. Worthy of the 2Lex himself. Alright, now we're starting to see Envy with some CS. He's got his soul stored up as he's sitting at his, well, not his maximum just yet for his level 2. But he's definitely feeling very, very good about this middle lane. If he can get a 4-minute rune, he'll take it. That means he has to win the foot race. And you see him already prepping up this middle lane. He wants to double raise his creep wave down. So there's one, and Synderen's already moving for it. He throws the rocket as well, and prays it's on the top lane, and it's not. It's on the bottom, and Bone 7, in fact, will bottle it up too, which means Envy's got to send the bottle back to base on the courier. But that's okay, because you've still got Elder Titan, who's riding bottle, and doesn't have to use the courier for it. Aoi 2000 is going to find Ryze. Ryze, there's no real way that he can kill off Aoi. Actually, he does, because Aoi went 2nd level into the aura. So we've got extra regeneration all across the map, and this is how Aoi can farm. That's all it is for. It's for absolutely nothing else. It's so he can frostbite up 1 creep and always have the mana to do so, because his mana regeneration is doubled on him, as opposed to the aura he gives to everybody else. He takes so much of it for himself. But then you let off the frostbite and just keep farming up, and then the 2nd level aura. See, look at that regeneration, 4.1 a second. Doesn't have a Nova, but Ensnare will go and Unicorn, Timber chains away. Just need to be a little bit faster there from Aoi. If he did, though, he would have revealed himself, so it was really kind of a hopeful thing he'd get it anyway. But if you can get the Frostbite off as the Timber Chain just started up. Oh, Park. Bone 7 isn't looking too healthy in this bottom lane. It looks like Torrent next marks spot was able to buy him a little bit of space against Bone 7. But the salve as well as some heal coming. Link's going to be careful about this. And in fact, Bone 7, Crit should be more careful about this. Spirit, 1 second. Crit's dead. Locked in a corner. And the Spirit will drop down. And Link wants to also be as evasive as possible. But there's your first blood in the bottom lane. Bone 7, with the hands of an Elder Titan, like he's already good at, he's good normally. But to have an ET there as well, that's just even better. Walk through the creep wave, happy to have a push out because he's coming to check the 6-minute rune. Spirit won't reach Link, but he's forced Link off the lane. So even while Bone 7's absent from the lane, like he gets the Spirit back in again, Bonus 8% movement speed. It's going to be a top lane rune, so regeneration. Synderen, he knows it's actually useless to take this because he can't do anything with it. He possibly could have popped off a rocket for a little bit of scouting beforehand. Oh, owie. Frostbite and Ensnare. Not the best combo here, but the arrow! Sing Sing! He just hits the Hallelujah arrow. Starfall will come down. The extra one also hits onto the Timbersaw. Clockwork. He did TP up here, and Sing Sing used his leap to get into these cogs, and now has to run himself away. Crit, no mana for a torrent, no mana for anything, and they can't get the last hit on Sing Sing. 2 melee heroes, and they just can't reach him. Arrow will fly down again, almost. Synderen just backed up a little bit more. That would have bought the space for Owie to escape from this one. Link wants to go deeper right now. Doesn't have level 6, but has Pilot Eye low on life. But he also has Sing Sing with Face Boots. So Mousesports bringing their entire team almost up to this top lane. Unicorn went back down to the bottom. And then you have Bone 7 return to that lane as the Elder Titan. And in the meantime, Envy. Now up to level 8, so he's got 4 in the Razors and 4 up in the Necromastery. No max souls again, but he's only just leveled up to level 8, so no surprise there. But Sing Sing's arrows, that was a real good prediction arrow too. If that movement just kept coming out from Clockwork, like the first one on Timbersaw was beautiful. Like he knew where he was going to Timber Chain to. Sing Sing's played a lot of Timbersaw himself, so he knew exactly that escape route which he would have to take. And with both the Ensnare as well as the Frostbite being used, it actually made it so that you knew that Timber Chain would come out at the exact point, as opposed to the Ensnare would come out at a random point. So I don't know if intentional awesomeness, but it was good nonetheless. And now they switch their lanes up. So Sing Sing comes in towards the middle lane. They instantly try and gank him up. Crit's going to smoke himself around the edge. So X into Torrent, and then, well, Sing Sing, he's still got Leap of Valve. He's going to get burnt back a little bit. There's no kill coming from this. In fact, he's even using the cogs to help deny off a couple of the creeps. But Envy goes up to the top lane, just starts farming up now. And he does have max souls. So he got his early start off without dying. 50 CS up against now the 34 for 7 of Synderen. So we get a 2-minute pause out from Rise. In the meantime, too, I'll say welcome to everyone who has tuned in. I know a lot of you missed the start. We're watching the Alliance versus TTD game from the Fragbite Masters, so kind of awesome to see. But we do have Speed Gaming going up against Mousesports right now. This is from the Dota 2 Championships League, so if you just tuned in, welcome to you all. Hopefully you did find the live stream on your wonderful social networks. If you ever want to follow anything which is happening for the Dota 2 Championship League, because you can find it on your normal Dota 2 networks, but you can also find it over on d2cl.org. That is the official English website for this competition, where you can follow the entire schedule, the live streams, the whole shebang is over there as well. And because if you want to follow me, TobiWan Dota, yeah, I'm in multiple locations. When I say multiple locations, I'm in Berlin, but yeah, I'm over on Facebook as well as Twitter. You can find me there. And we'll be having more matches coming up as well. As far as the D2CL goes, too many acronyms. Because this is now going to be the last game from Speed. If they win this, they go 4-0. It's a guaranteed semi-final. Guaranteed semi-final playoff. Number 1 position will go the winners. Well, it's actually just a single elimination. It's not even a double elimination. It's a single elimination final. If you take number 1 position, you're straight into the semi-finals. If you take 2nd and 3rd position, then you battle up against the second. Or if you're in 2nd, you battle up against a 3rd from the opposite group. So that's what comes your way. So no one really wants the 2nd and 3rd position. But right now, Speed, they've basically got it in the bag. Everyone's got a loss. Liquid and Mouse. Navi's got 2 losses to their name, and Dignitas have got 2 losses to their name, and actually not even a single win. So, right now, Speed is guaranteed at least a draw for number 1 position. It could be a 3-way draw, but then it'll have to be between Liquid as well as Mousesports. And that means Mousesports would have to win this, and then would have to win their last game. And their last game, actually, it's not possible because you got Liquid playing that one. Bone 7, he's in trouble. Mousesports rotation. This is something which myself, as well as Lodi yesterday, was talking about, that Mousesports are actually quite impressive when it comes to this rotation. Their timing, their movement, looking for these kills is actually quite good. For me, it kind of feels a little bit late in this game. We are 2-2 right now. We're almost hitting the 10-minute mark. They're going to push out this bottom tower. Again, we see like that 3 and 2. The build out from the Kunkka. Rocket's even coming in from Clockwork. I don't know if that was trying to help him out. Actually, where was that rocket going from Cinderin? It's... A bit look behind how he's going to come down to the bottom lane. And Bone 7. Spirit comes out, and this push basically grinds to a halt. Heroes have to run themselves away from Spirits and Envy. Well, it's like Arrow's going to miss on Cinderin. Envy's going to stand his ground until... Oh, yeah. Until the cogs dissipated. He didn't want to lose any mana for no reason. Goes back into his farming. 3 raises. May not be able to do that full kind of thing. He's going to use it just because he's got the bottle charges. Wants to regenerate his health. Wants to get the mana back. Meanwhile, up on top lane, they do this a hell of a lot, Speed. Pylai die again, finding space. Sing Sing. Oh! How did that not latch? How did that not latch? Sing Sing was sitting right behind that range creep when that shackle was thrown. That's just... Sometimes the gods smile at you. Sometimes the gods smile. And Sing Sing is a lucky, lucky devil for that one. That would have been a full jump in from the rest of Mousesports. It's like Bone 7's backtracking himself out. He's now going one-on-one with Crit on this bottom lane. From the Spirits. It's going to force him a little bit further back. It also has like the counter effect, which Bone 7's probably not really searching for. Maybe he is, because that tower is down at half of its life points. But he pushed out the creep wave. Most of the time with the Ancestral Spirit, like in the mid-solo matchup, I remember I was talking to S4 about this, and every single time he said, you've got to put the Spirit on like... Actually, I think it was S4 I was talking to about this. Yeah, but it's still at the end of the day, you've got to put the Spirit away from the lane. When you're looking for harassment onto an enemy hero, what you're wanting to try and achieve is just the hero harassment, not the creep wave itself, because then you lose control of the creep wave. And you see Bone 7, he's forced back to his own tier 1 tower, while the creep wave can be controlled up by Unicorn a little bit further out. He's obviously still got his own Spirit harassment, which he can throw out again right now, and get last hits if he so desires them. And he gets one, and harassment over towards Unicorn. Minute Blink Dagger for Link, so initiation. Still actually haven't seen a Dream Call. There's kind of actually been no point where there's been a call for it. But no Dream Call, no initiation, which means Envy continues to farm up inside the jungle. He's getting really close to that BKB. In fact, his farm is really... It's through the roof. It's getting 430 gold per minute in comparison to the next highest, which is 334, and that's his own player. That's the Elder Titan on the off lane. I hate to bring this graph up, but I know you guys want to see it. Yep, that's the reason why. It's down low, 5,000 gold, and about 7,500 experience going the way of Speed Gaming here. They have a great time, absolute great time. They're controlling everything. Hook shot. Fouls by Cinderin. It was a quick TP in and Bone 7. It was a blind hook from Cinderin. I don't think he realized just how close he actually was when he did that. But this farm is just not coming in. Like even the supports, Windrunner and Kunkka. Like Windrunner's trying to find some CS now in the middle lane as well as some levels. So she can have some higher points up. But she's got the higher points up in Shackle. All she's trying to do is do a high level of control. Oh, now that is nice. Naga Sleep being used up for Sing Sing's arrow, but the turn-off time was perfect. There was no room to get that phase shift off. And that's not an easy thing to do. That is not an easy thing to do by at any stretch of the imagination. Pylai Die and Sing Sing, they've worked at that combination. It's kind of funny too, because I was talking about this earlier today with our Naga Siren pickup. That Naga Siren is one of these heroes that, like, with her changes, you really need to be 100%. Like 99% isn't enough. Then you can get evasion. That's when we get a Naga Siren up against the 2 BKB heroes. And the chance of getting the Naga Siren sleep off, you come in, and then you come out of it, and then the BKBs pop instantly before your stuns are able to connect. Like, it's moments like that that you're just like, garg. If only I had timing. And this bottom lane span is getting too easy right now for Bone 7. When he's walking around with the drums as well as intelligence treads, you're already seeing his regeneration at 3.5 because he's also got the aura from the Crystal Maiden. So he's able to spam this out. It's only level 2 aura. It hasn't changed since level 3 on the Crystal Maiden. So you got the 2 points up in the Nova and the 1 point up in the ultimate after hitting level 3. So 1 point Frostbite was all that was required. Wants the AoE damage, and they're bringing help in. This is a 4-man push coming out from Mousesports, and Bone 7 comes deep in. Remember, we have that Blink Dagger on Link. Torrent going to connect on Bone 7. Arrow this time unable to connect by Sing Sing, but then it's a 5-man silence where they're all caught inside the Moran Ultimate. ET, they jump over the top of his ultimate, but Puck's already going to go down here, and Aoi 2000 hit by Kunkka Ship, caught inside the Chakram, but the damage being dealt out right now with the Novas. Unicorn jumps down, but Elder Titan with the Spirit as well as the attack from Sing Sing is enough. Rise holds Sing Sing a very, very long time in position. The arrow comes down, and they both have to run down, which means they've still been infected by this Spirit. They may consider turning around. The tower's going to remain alive. In the meantime, Envy doesn't care about his team. He picks up his BKB as well as the Tier 1 tower in the mid. Now we're going to go X-Torrent. Sing Sing's already left. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Shackle won't latch, but then he uses stick charges. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. One more attack. Rise, he gets it. The cogs go down from Cinderin too. That's more of his own cover fire. Bone 7's got another Spirit in a moment, and Cinderin will TP out to safety. They see him, but it's already too late, and there goes your Spirit to pick up the Windrunner. Cinderin just had to leave his teammate for dead. He'd already used his cog, so he had no way to bump the enemy around and give some space for Windrunner to get out of there. But through all of this, like Mousesports' commitment towards that top lane, what have you got? You've got an SF who not only has picked up a BKB, but has another 1,300 gold on him. We could be looking at a very, and I'm going to feel a Desolator out from Eternal Envy in this one, mainly to counter up directly against the Timbersaw. Bring him back down to everybody else's level. And also allow him to push down those buildings a little bit faster. They've taken out 2 Tier 1 towers already. But Envy just keeps farming up. Like, there's no stacks he can have, but with the regeneration rune, he can just spam every single bit of mana he's got. Are they calling to go in for towers here? Envy... Okay, Envy is not sure of himself. I think we might be having a 5-man moment, peoples. The ET ulti's back up again. Morana's ulti's still on cooldown. Envy not getting the perfect raises off, but it doesn't really matter. They still get a lot of last hits. Phase shift from Link. Avoiding one of the right clicks there from Envy. Doesn't want to phase shift again. Kind of probably wished he did, though. Bottom lane, Bone 7. Trying to man fight up against Cinderin. Not really possible, but Envy's making the most out of this. Clockwork's used his ultimate to initiate in on that. Support's rotating over from crit, but his ship's also on cooldown. That's been used for that engagement as well. And actually, Envy, what do we got? Arrow. Flies up, but Rise is a little bit too quick under the feet. But this is now be a Tier 1 tower on top lane. It should be. Envy's actually wasted a lot of time here. Like, his net worth is 9.2k. So I'm not going to say, whoa, Envy, not enough monies, man. It's not enough monies. You need more monies. We're not going to say that. But can definitely say, need something a little bit more.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like Cinderin's going to find his space in the bottom lane. Look what he's building into as well. Necro book's coming his way. In this game, though, I'm not quite sure if the Necro units are what you want to have. I know Necro units are very, very powerful, but at the same time, yeah, that's... Like, you can't dominate them anymore. But at the same time, Envy, he'll leech his life back again. Bone 7 wants to play around with Cinderin. Bonus movement speed. Oh, the cog. Cinderin. Bone 7 just tries to beat his way out of there. Middle lane initiation. It's over on the SF, and Naga just says, just stop. The ship's still going to connect. Pylon I move down far enough, and now turn it off. The arrow will connect as well onto the puck with the SF holding full wind-up. A timber chain up. It was just looking to do damage, not to escape. Eternal Envy will get a double kill. Pop to the BKB. Feel very, very safe in that one. And this will now be Roshan. The life-stealing Eternal Envy can go in there. The arrow from Sing Sing even going to buy him a little bit of extra space here. He's got bottle charges and wants to lose a bit of life. might consider actually killing off Synderen. Probably wishes he... That's not that arrow, but 4 seconds and it comes off cooldown. And Synderen, the tree line's already TPing out. They won't make it in time. Not to stop him. The arrow, even the positioning, guess there. I say guess. It was guesstimation, but it was perfect from Sing. Roshan's gone. Envy will take the Aegis to the Immortal. And he's still got 2,700 gold on him. Yeah, but back to the Necro book. You don't worry about the minions because you're going to leech the life back out again anyway. So if you get a Satanic, you got enough life points that will make sure you can 100% guarantee you can tank up the damage which is taken from the Necros. And you get rid of them. And what happens too when Eternal Envy starts picking up an Alpha Wolf? That's what's he got? He's got Troll, he's got Satyrs, he's got Ogres, he doesn't want the armor again, he had that before. Okay, he doesn't have any Alpha Wolves. But Alpha Wolf is what he's searching for. It's that huge increase in damage for not only yourself, but for everybody else. Sing Sing wouldn't mind that. Mr. Yasha into Manta Star more than likely. Unicorn on the top lane. There's a TP coming in from the SF, so this is almost a bit of a bait right now with Rise coming up around the side. He can look for the Shackle. There's already the X to the Torrent. And then he's just leeching out the life again. He's got a regeneration rune, so they've got to get a straight-up kill. And Pylai die. Ensnare on Unicorn. Timbercheck can still be used inside that Ensnare, but he's also in range for 1 and 2. Raises to go down up. The stomp from Bone 7 made sure he remained in position until the animation for the second raise could be cast. So again, we have these combinations. The early 4-staff in for a Naga Siren. And Envy with Bone 7 will look to the tier 2 tower in the top lane. And Rise with Power Shots try and hold him out. It's not going to be an easy task to do. 4-staff there for the Clockwork. And X to Torrent. Envy goes for a little bit of a bumpy ride. But at the same time, you've still got Sing Sing and Owie here on the bottom lane. So you got a very potent dual lane, pushing and pressuring your tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. And you know you need at least 3 or 4 heroes to stop this top lane. In fact, you need 4 heroes to stop this top lane. Which means either way you look at this, a tier 2 tower shall die tonight. And with the Naga Illusions coming in as well, they can tank up a hell of a lot of this and even just stomp up. There's another TP coming in, and the second they see that, that means that you want to initiate on bottom. There's a dire observer wall that's down here right now, which is giving them the vision on the other side of the tree line. That's the vision from that ward. They see perfectly towards the tower, which means Sing Sing's got he's got intel to make sure he can bring down the Timbersaw with a good arrow. Owie, quick Nova, arrow, it's already flying. Hey, where the hell did he throw it? Ah, must have been scouting. TV into middle lane, Pylai die will hold Synderen off. And then again, at the same time, we're going to haste Rune Envy. Ensnare, 1 raise, and now, whoop, hold that ulti off. Cole's going to push him back. They haven't got the kill on the Windrunner. In fact, she got herself back out to safety with that TP and Synderen as well. It's going to be a little bit of frustration. Cogs always do cause that kind of feeling. But here's our bottom lane movement we're talking about. Just slowly bringing down the tower. Envy, in fact, is going to come down to ensure this and just sets a load of Unicorn. Arrow won't connect, but he knows with the BKB. Synderen, oh, look at the damage. That was almost 4 hits to kill off Unicorn. He's looking at 100 life points at the end of all of that. You get the Chrysalis from Eternal Envy. 1 or 2, Chris, he's feeling good. So we're not even seeing Desolator. We're seeing straight-up hero killing Shadow Fiend. It's going to be a Daedalus for him. He's almost got the full money for it too. He could finish up the Satanic as well. Top lane Link is trying to bring down this tower, but he's got to come back. Envy will nuke down this creep wave and then attack towards the tower. The Shackles only go on the creep wave. It doesn't go towards the heroes. And Envy's like, no, we do not lose a single one. And they don't need to. There's fun to be had in the top lane while the rest of Speed Gaming are looking towards the tier 2 tower in the middle lane. This is Mousesports being bumped around the map so badly as well. And they don't have a way. They don't have a way they can just jump in. Synderen. Where's he looking to go? He could try a blind hook shot up here. Oh, at the same time, I should say blind hook shot. What the hell did he just hook shot into? Either way, Naga's dead. Died just up here. So Speed Gaming do have a casualty of war, but their advantage is so far ahead right now. It's light years ahead. Chris doesn't even have Tidebringer, so he can't even help do the counter pushing. He's got Torrent. Now he does get the level up in Tidebringer. It's level 9. So you get the 4 Torrent, 2X, 1 ship, and then everything else goes Tidebringer. Apart from, obviously, your ulti when you can level it up. Now he goes into his farm. This is coming from Aui's perspective, where he goes into a straight BKB. Rise played a lot of Crystal Maiden yesterday, where he went in for Blink Daggers. Was his choice. In fact, they had double Blinks. Use it for a quick and fast initiation up against Na'Vi. And very, very successfully as well. Sing Sing, he's got all the confidence in the world. With Amanda style at his disposal, he doesn't fear much. Unicorn also now has 2 targets to try and attack. And Sing Sing can use these illusions to get last hits. In fact, yeah, you can see him focusing on the weaker creep at the back. Sharkram will destroy out most of this. Pylite die on the long lane with her illusions. Comes in through the rear. And going to look for the Riptide over on Rise as well, but is not going to claim it. Just waste the creep waves time a little bit more. And now the TP comes top lane. That's Pilot Eye coming in. And going to pop the ulti. 4-star Finn, and they've caught Link. They've also managed to catch Crit a little bit further out. So they're happy to just let Link go and attack directly on Crit. The arrow flies and actually doesn't connect. Ship went out from the Kunkka, but now you see the damage from... Oi, oi, oi. You can't. You can't fight against that as a puck. Let alone a support Kunkka. The puck is a 3-hit to death. And there's one fat SF, and they gave him the space to do it as well. Not willingly, Mousesports. Like, there's 703 crits coming out. Bone 7 stands his ground with BKB, so he doesn't care about Synderen. The only thing he cares about is when he gets caught inside those damn cogs. He can't walk back out of it. And the tier 2 towers now go on the top lane. And now push in towards the mid tier 2 tower as well. The guest torrent's coming out. Unable to connect properly. But they are looking for Aoi 2000, but he's got support. Yeah, now you see that turn. 1 hit already. He got 2 crits off. 329 on them. And then BKB. Unicorn, DD or not, Envy will take your life points. Helps with 1 last hit to pick off the Kunkka. Torrent down, max range. No, we can't do it. Would come in range of the tower again. They want the tier 2 tower in mid, though. Like, pushing inside the base. The Spirit's already making this a little bit more difficult for Mousesports to defend. But they want the mid tier. Tier 2. Sing Sing's also purchased up something else. He purchased up a Maelstrom. So the elements to push it farm all into one great item. Bone 7's going to now make a move for the top lane. The Spirit's just pulling the creep wave back down again and away from the tier 1 tower. Link's trying to catch up to the dire creep wave at the same time. He might feel about backdooring this tower, but really with his amount of damage, he doesn't really have it anymore. So is that Necro? Yeah, Necro book level 1. This is that downside for Necro books. They just are so damn expensive. Oh, Synderen. It's a very good thing he has that 4-star. Naga, though, Mirror Image is going to get burned up a little bit from this. In fact, they're all going to pop when the rocket flies in. And how long we got until our next... In fact, hey, the big man's up. Time for Roshan again. Haste to be bottled up by the SF as well. TPing down the bottom lane. Getting sick of Unicorn, getting in that close. Oh, that arrow. Just around the corner. They got no stun. They almost had enough damage to pick him up before that TP completed. And now Pylite die. You can see 3 of them in the mid. 4-staffs him. 2 caught and 1 on the side. ETL is coming out and he'll turn it off. Snaps Chris while Synderen. Arrow will fly, but Synderen again with the 4-staffs able to escape. He's up on the high ground, but both the stars came down. The main burst of stars and then that last little follow-up star. And Sing Sing just able to right-click him down for the last point of that one. On the bright side, Puck now has a Necro book level 1. Necro books don't win you games, peoples. They help, but they don't win it for you. Look at Sing Sing, he won't even care. Farms him up, takes the damage, really good damage as well. And Link's away to safety. But Sing Sing will also look at it from the other point of view. What he just got then was good farm. He comes in, defends the tower. The top tower, well, they had to accept the fact that 1 tower had to die here. But it was denied up. And Envy Just go in there and solo him. You don't even need help. He may not know he's up. Remember, we still have that 3 minutes chance of a spawn time. So if he walks in and checks it, yeah, he's on his way now. You're like, okay, easy. And by getting this kill, if he gets the last hit on it, I don't know if it's actually enough to get the full Satanic, but I almost feel he should give the Aegis the Immortal over to Sing Sing. Because Envy with his, yeah, in fact, he does have it. He already purchased up the recipe then. So he's got Satanic, as well as the possibility of an Aegis the Immortal. Yeah, I'm still feeling it for Sing Sing. Drop the TP scroll. Envy says no. Envy says SF or nothing. The 18,474 net worth SF, who has 502 to his name, will just push out this middle lane. The cogs are down from Synderen. It's just slowing the advance. That's all it's doing. While on the bottom lane, Rise. Those little level 1 Necro units to tank up for him. He's TPing out. He's really not sure about this. Bone 7 was rotating up. It was just Bone 7 though. The smoke movement's up on the top lane. That's why I was more concerned. There were other heroes which were missing on the map. At least Windrunner can afford up a level 2 Necro book now. Level 3s will start to make a little bit more of a difference. And they found one. Unicorn TPing out. That's not going to work, Unicorn. You knew that too. The ensnare. The arrow is going to be off target because it's for his initial position. But he's got one timber chain left. And that was it. Ensnare, 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Arcane Boots are 4 seconds away for Unicorn. He can't get the mana in time. Crystal Maiden will get the kill on Unicorn. Now the middle lane push comes in. Syndra's Necro books are out. Rise's Necro books are still on cooldown. And Naga, oh wow, that's gonna be, oh, it's only Sing Sing. Envy's coming in through the rear. The arrow will connect on Rise. One raise, and then just right clicks. Misses up the hill, but when he does connect after that, he hits hard. Kanka's able to run away to safety. But we've got 720 crits. This is, I don't want to say hopeless, but the graphs do tell a tale. And the tale be one of despair for Mousesports. And one of great rejoicing for Speed Gaming. You may not be invited to everything. Oh, phase shift. Came at the right time. Jumps away on the orb and evades the arrow. Yeah, but you may not be invited to everything, but they are performing so damn well of late. BKB and Satanic. 3 hits to kill off Unicorn, and then just gets rid of one of the Necro units. Takes the other one too, where the BKB is still up and running. The X-Mark spot torrent's gonna happen again. They actually give him a Mjolnir. The effect from that one. Attacks to Link. Might want to do a couple of lay-in attacks. This creep wave. Hookshot now gonna come in. Arrow flies. Look at Synderen. He just gets obliterated. Absolutely obliterated. He even picks up Link, who's coming back in again. I thought Link would take a very, very long path out of here. And Envy, well, he just wants crits. He just wants life leech. He's going to get it too. The Satanic comes off cooldown in a moment. He gets one last shackle, but he's godlike right now on this SF. And 9 for 0. The entire team of Mousesports are down. And this will be a GG call coming out from Mousesports. Coming back from this, you have no out of towers. They're just moving on to the next one. And there you go. Crit's going to call it. And say this is over. Game number 2 will be coming up next. But Mousesports, they started off this competition, the Dota 2 Championship League, walking around with their one victory, which they're able to claim over Dignitas 2-1. But they had their matchup against Na'Vi last night, losing that 2-1. And now, facing up against Speed, the 3-0 team in Group 2. Looking to be one game away from going 4-0 and taking that semi-final spot with no contest at all. No possibility for a draw. They're looking good for it. I think Mousesports have a little bit more of a larger concern. With this loss, they level up with Na'Vi. And that means you have a tied third position. So if Na'Vi and Mousesports, in fact, lose their last games, then we will have ourselves a draw for the third one. Yeah, third position. Whatever, it's only the top 3, peoples. It's a very, very short season. Group stages, you play 4 games, 4 best of 3s, and then you go straight into your single elimination playoffs. That's the way it works, and there's a lot of money up for grabs. $50,000 is the prize pool in here. $25,000 for first prize, and then all the money, or not all the money, 25% of the revenue which is made from the Dota TV tickets goes towards the prize pool as well. So hopefully we'll get an update on the amount that is in fact, and then we'll have ourselves a great old time as we'll toast the victory of someone, the first champion of the Champions League. So stay tuned, we'll be back here in a couple of moments' time when Mousesports will try for game number 2.